Right, this is probably a silly idea. Wow, I might as well just wee myself.
You rejoin me for day 2 of this wild camping adventure. On the previous day, I completed around 10 miles and 3,000 feet of climbing. Today, I'd have to complete exactly the same again, maybe even more. With temperatures barely above freezing, getting down will be treacherous. Today would test me, an ice cold swim, having to unpack all of my bag, and strong winds battering my already tired body. The temptation to abandon the camp and go home to my nice warm bed would be stronger than ever.
So that's where I came along yesterday, all the way along that ridge, which were really good. Now we've got this steep descent down here. Honestly, it's such a long way down there, and we've got to get down there. Hoping it's not too slippy, but it doesn't look great. It's definitely going to be slow going down here. It's just so slippy and so shingly. That's just such a great valley there. Just getting battered by the wind stood on here though, so let's get down. Tell you what, it is windy going down here. And look how steep it is. Wiggling my way all the way down here and trying not to get blown over. It's so windy, wow. It's almost like a scramble coming down this. Really, really steep. Look at that. I've been trying to avoid the hardest parts and just try to stick to the path. Like, there has been sections where I could scramble down, but I've just been trying to wiggle my way around them. But there's loads of different routes up here, and you can just make it as easy or as hard as you like. Look at that now, looking up. I came literally straight off the front of that. That was steep, but really enjoyable. What a lovely view that is though, looking over to Hope Gill Head and the ridge I came along. This one looks more like a scramble. I don't think there's any avoiding this really, so I'm just going to get the camera away and scramble my way down. This really is an enjoyable route, just coming down that. You've got that little scrambly bit up there. Just overall a really, really good route along here. And just look at them views looking out over Crummock Water and over to Melbrake. Just beautiful, aren't they? I don't know about anyone else, but I think just bottom here, Crummock Water is just one of, if not the nicest area in the Lake District. Just absolutely beautiful. Strange how down here it's not frosty, but you literally just go a tiny bit that way and covered in frost. Literally even the trees down there are covered in frost. Just down there I can see an absolutely gorgeous pool. Looks really nice. Obviously not this time of year, it's going to be absolutely freezing.
At this point, there was no way I'd even consider getting in that ice cold water.
I was just looking at that path over there that's kind of going all the way up. Also, it's such a great path. From here it looks like at some points you just like slip down the scree and just go down to the valley. But even this path here is not the easiest. You've got to watch your footing, otherwise you could slide down this. Honestly, this wind is pretty strong and like it's coming in gusts. Like it calms down, then there'll be a gust, and it just nearly took me out. I was trying to get over a little gap. I stretched out my leg, and as I stretched out my leg and I was off balance on one leg, the wind just blew and it just nearly blew me straight down. Gonna try to be a bit more careful from now. Tell you what, that is a steep mountain. It's just non-stop. I'm glad I'm coming down it, not going up it. Literally just steep, straight all the way up. But I've come down it now, and now I've just got a long section of flat along Crummock Water. Look at this for a lovely stream. Absolutely lovely, isn't it? Wow, just look how nice that looks. Honestly, I'm tempted to get in that because that's pretty deep. Look at that. What a lovely spot. Absolutely beautiful. Right, this is probably a silly idea because my only towel is this tiny thing, but I'm going to go for it really quickly. It's going to be absolutely freezing. It says it's 4 or 5 degrees. Woohoo! Here we go. Let's get under.
If you can't tell by my reaction, it was absolutely freezing. But the praise by a fellow wild swimmer made it slightly more palatable.
Well done! Oh, that is so cold. Right, time to get out and warm up. Oh, I can't stand up. Honestly, I'm glad I did that. I feel a lot cleaner now, so much fresher. It was freezing though, it was absolutely freezing. I'm still cold now, my hands are cold and my body just seems to be almost shaking a little bit. It's a bit windy as well, which ain't helping. That has definitely taken up a lot of time though, getting all my clothes off, getting in, getting dry. So it's like 12 o'clock now, which means I've got like 4 hours till sunset. Isn't that just beautiful, the sun out? It hasn't warmed me up in the slightest. It don't feel any warmer than being in shade. That looks like such a steep route there going up Grassmore. But I've had a slight change of plan, so I'm going to go along this side because it'll just save me a good few miles, and like it's only 4 hours till sunset. And also I'm a bit concerned about the wind because it was really windy coming down off Whiteside. And if it's that windy, I don't really know if I want to be pitching out in the open. I just realised my bag was open, like the main bit at the bottom. So everything could have just fallen out, and I've been walking with it like that since I've been swimming, so hopefully nothing has fallen out.
But it wasn't long before I had lost something.
Pretty nice walk along here though, with some absolutely beautiful views. It just is still pretty cold even though the sun's out, and it's fairly windy even down in this valley, so up on the tops it could be wild. I just had such a panic then. I wanted my headphones to listen to some music. I went to look for them, then I'm like, oh crap, where are they? And I've literally got everything out of my bag, and I'm like, where are they? I've checked all the pockets. I'm like, oh no, they've dropped out. I'm gonna have to like try run back. And then I just thought, oh, I'll just check in the food bag. And there they were in the food bag. Shame I couldn't remember that before I unpacked my whole bag. Look at the cliffs up there. Just amazing, aren't they? Honestly, such a pleasant walk along here. Look at that for a view behind. Just beautiful. This relaxing walk along the side of the lake is soon going to turn into a very steep climb. Got to head kind of to the end of this valley first and then bend up. So that's probably going to be my last view, looking over there until I'm up on the tops. Just a lovely view, isn't it? Next mountain I'm going up is that one there, which looks a long way up, and even after that I've got 200 meters more of climbing, so long way to go. And I've already done 5 miles today, so my legs are already feeling a bit tired from yesterday, plus the 5 miles today. And then at like this time, which is like nearly 1 o'clock, I've just got a big climb up from like 300 feet, and I'm going up like 2,500 feet probably, so it's going to be pretty tiring.
If you can't already tell, by this point the enjoyment has slowly been taken over by the tiredness. The thought of all the climbing that lay ahead nearly had me defeated before I'd even started.
Look how interesting that huge crack is there, like a ravine, and just how the trees are growing into it. Honestly though, even just like this tiny incline from coming up from the lake is just like making me tired. This is going to be like an absolute killer going up this hill. Like, it really is going to be a killer. Look at that, all the way up that, and up that, and then further after that. Whew, right, might as well get up there as quick as I can. Started climbing up slowly, the calm before the storm, but look at that view behind. That's just so nice, looking out over to Crummock Water, just peeking out. There you go, climbed up a bit now, that wasn't too bad. I feel like with these longer walks, when you're struggling, you're on the second day, carrying a big heavy rucksack up a hill, it's really easy to forget where you are. You're just focusing on like the physical aspect of it, and you don't just stop and look around. And like when you do just take a minute to stop and look around, it's just absolutely beautiful. Just look at that. That is just, wow. It just looks absolutely amazing. This path going up this hill though is not looking so amazing, I can't lie. This is steep going up here, wow. At least I've got the sun back for a bit until it goes over the mountains. Wow, this is so steep. Honestly, look at that, like nearly falling over, it's so steep. Bit of snow on the mountains over there, I really like covering. Wow. Definitely tired, but it's steep going up here, so making up ground pretty quick. From here though, you can see how much time I saved by coming down this side of Crummock Water. I was going to go all the way around the other side, and then I'd cut back through Buttermere and up that path there, but that would have added on miles. Glad I didn't do that in the end.
This short break in the climbing was needed, and my spirits began to lift, but it wouldn't be long before the mountain would humble me yet again.
Honestly, this little chair that I bought is the OEX Ultralight. I bought it for £9 and it's honestly so useful. Like, it's pretty comfortable. I can just stick it down here and I just got somewhere to sit. But I thought I'd definitely need a bit more food and a relax before I end up heading up there. I think that's maybe one door up there, and it's pretty chilly, I can't lie. So I'm just gonna have some jerky and then also a piece of brownie. Should power me up. Right, so I've got a really steep.
At this point it's difficult to hear me because of the wind, but to cut a long story short, I have to climb this steep hill. But if the wind did not calm down, I was looking to abort the camp completely. Maybe my dreams of the nice warm bed at home were closer than I thought.
It's only 2:15 though, so I've got an hour and 3/4 to get to wherever I decide I'm going to camp. Also, the wind is just like so cold. It's supposed to be 5 degrees lower today. I won't feel it one bit, I'm going to be honest. So I've worked trying to put a path, just zigzagging it up, but I've got this big crag. Oh, craggy bit to get up. Honestly, my legs are definitely just getting tired now.
My tiredness was at an all-time high, unlike my motivation, which I seem to have left at the bottom of the mountain somewhere.
I just got to that point where every 2-3 minutes I need to stop. I'm just so tired. Look how steep it is down there. That's the one thing when you come up thin paths like this, which are right next to steep drops. You don't want to be tired because you lose your footing because you're too tired. And that could be the end of you, so I'm just going to take the brakes as and when I need them. That's a long way down there. Is that still frost up here? Yeah, it is. A bit frosty, so it could be a bit slippy. I mean, really I could pitch here, but I don't fancy doing all that in the morning. There's Grassmore, which I really enjoyed when I did that. That before I started my channel. See the path wiggling all the way up at there. Honestly, just look how big these mountains are. The stream down there looks literally so small. I mean, maybe it is small, but it looks a hell of a lot smaller from up here. See, here it's not that windy. If it's like this, that's fine. It's just, it was really windy coming up some bits there. Honestly, it's so steep everywhere you look off here. You've got steep sides. Oh, it feels good to get up to this point though. It feels like a checkpoint. Just got that to go. When I plotted this route, it probably was a little bit ambitious. Obviously I've cut it shorter than planned, but it's still been a fair walk because it's my first proper 2-dayer. Definitely pushed it a bit, doing, I think in total when I plotted the route, it said around 6,400 or 6,500 feet of ascent, which is quite a lot. That's like doing Scarfell Pike twice, 2 days in a row, carrying all your camping stuff as well. But if you don't push yourself with these things, you don't really know how much you can do. I remember one of the first times I went camping, it was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I walked up to Easdale Tarn, and like we're carrying our stuff up. I'm like, wow, this is a killer. We're stopping every 2 minutes. Oh my god, how do people do this? And now I'm doing literally like 2-3 years later, I'm walking 10 miles a day, 3,000 feet of climbing. And it's just like, if you actually go do it, you'll be surprised at what you can do. Like, yeah, it is tiring, and you have moments like coming up there. Oh, I was like so like deflated. I was like, oh, I cannot be bothered. I'm going up here, it's going to be windy up here. But now I'm up here, I feel great. I mean, I've still got a bit of climb to go, but when you get up, it's just such a good feeling. Look at this for a good path along here. Just weaving and wobbling its way around. Just lovely, isn't it? It's fairly steep off here though. Yeah, that is actually just a cliff. Look at that. Absolutely amazing, isn't it? Got Crummock Water in sight down there. Melbrake, which is that mountain just there. It's like, it's not windy at all here, no wind. I'm just hoping it stays like that when I get on top of one dope. Otherwise it's going to be wind nope. That was just so bad, wasn't it? It really was. I'll shut up. Look at that for a view behind. Just absolutely beautiful. Oh, most of the climbing done. Right, we've just got over there. That's one dope. That's Crag Hill. If I can get somewhere in between the two, if it's too windy on the summit, and that'll do me. Usually I'd like a really nice pitch where you've got like a view like this behind, but I think I'd rather not be in the wind because it's just inconvenient. You have to watch all your stuff constantly and it's not going to blow away. And knowing me, I'd probably like blow up my air mat and then just let it blow away by accident because I've nearly done that before. I feel like the weather like changes with my mood, or maybe my mood changes with the weather, but like quite often when I get to like near a summit or my pitch spot, the sun will just come out as if to say like, well done, you've had that bit of cloud, but you can have the sun now, you've done the hard part. Look at that, just looks wonderful, doesn't it? Right, so we are at the summit of Wandorp. I was going to pitch right in the top, but I just don't know how windy it's going to be overnight because it's pretty exposed up here. But there it is. At least the sun's out. That's really improved my mood a lot. Now I just need to find somewhere to pitch that's not too windy. The ground's pretty hard here. It's like frozen over. The annoying thing is, like, right now it's completely dead as the wind, but then in a minute there'll just be a big gust that comes, so I'm gonna have to wait for that so I can work out which direction the wind's coming from. I think it's blowing towards me, maybe? Is it? Yeah, I'll go have a look down this way somewhere. I'm so confused, it was just blowing towards me and I've walked like 1 minute this way, now it's blowing on my back. How does that make any sense? I'd love to pitch on the side of here, but as you can hear, it's so windy. It's honestly just so strange with this wind. It's like different directions, like constantly. So I don't know how I'm gonna combat that. Right, I think I'm gonna pitch here. It's definitely on a hill, but I probably can't be arsed walking around anymore, because anywhere that's flat has loads of wind, and then anywhere that's not flat is on a hill, so pick your poison really. But I think I'll go for this. I'm just gonna get my chair out and sit and wait here till the sun sets. Right, let's try that again, because in that last spot I sat there and after 2 minutes the wind just started coming over, which is a bit windy here, but it's just changed. I swear it's changing direction. 1 minute it's coming from this way, next minute it's coming from this way, and like, so annoying. I think I'm just gonna have to deal with it really, but it basically just looks the same as the other spot. There you go, all up. Bit of a dull night, to be honest. I don't think we're getting any sort of sunset. It's not as good a spot as I liked. A nice view of the Grassmoor, and you've got all them mountains over there, so it's not too bad. One thing I've done that isn't great is you can see the wind's blowing into it this way, so it's gonna just blow that vestibule in. But I thought I'd rather have that than be like laid on a funny angle and then not be able to sleep because I'm rolling off a sleeping pad. So I can just stick my backpack in there and I'll hold that out. It's pretty high up is this spot. I'm not exactly sure how high it is. I'll put it on the screen now, but I'm pretty sure it could be my highest camp ever. But yeah, that's what the spot's looking like. Nothing special, just a nice base for the night. Hopefully it should be pretty comfy and cozy in there. It's supposed to be a bit warmer than last night. So it's 4:15. I don't reckon there's going to be any sort of sunset at all. I'll keep an eye out just in case there is. But I've got all my tents set up, got all my inside set up. I've got the same as yesterday. I've just been sticking my raincoat at the bottom just to cover my feet, 'cause sometimes when my feet are up they can like push into that, so to avoid my sleeping bag getting wet I've just been doing that. I've got the Thermarest Neo Air X Firm, the regular wide, and then also the OEX Leviathan EV900. Kept me warm last night when it was down to like -4, but I'm just gonna lay in here for a bit, get myself warmed up, and I'll have some tea in a bit. So I've just got my tea on the go. It's like 5:30 now. It's pretty cold. I don't know why it feels so cold tonight. I looked and it said it's going to be about -1, and it's going to go up to 1 degree overnight, so at least it's going to get a little bit warmer as the night goes on. But there could be a bit of rain forecast, which is why I'm having a bit of an early tea. I've just got the same as what I had the other week, so it's just a bolognese mix, and I'm just going to have a bit of some wraps. I managed to finish that just in time, because if you can't hear it, just started to rain, which is a good sign. Well, it's not good, but at least it's not snowing, because if it was snowing then I'd know that it's definitely cold. But hopefully it doesn't rain too much. I'm going to enjoy this food now. I've got some wraps to go with it and it'll warm me up nicely. So I've just had my tea, and that's the second time I've had that while camping, that bolognese mix that my mum makes. So shout out to my mum, because it really does work well for a camping tea. But it is still drizzling outside a bit. It's always hard to tell how much it's raining when you're in a tent, because you're hearing every drop fall on the tent, so it sounds like it might be like absolutely chucking it down, but it might just be a light drizzle. But I am hoping it stops soon, because I'll need to go for a wee at some point, and I don't really fancy going outside and getting wet while having a wee. I might as well just wee myself if I wanted to do that. I'm only joking, obviously not. Right, we've got the dreaded task of going outside once you're in your tent, because I need a wee. But at least it sounds like it stopped raining. No ice inside the tent tonight, which is a good sign. It's weird, once you get out here it's not actually that cold, but no stars tonight at all. You can hear it is pretty windy now. It's still holding up alright, but it's not pitched that well on this side. If you come around here, you can see it like blows in that bit, but that is fine. So I'm just brewing my hot chocolate now. As you can see, fairly windy, but when these gusts come, like, it is very windy. I'm not too concerned about my tent being able to withstand it, because I'm pretty sure it should be able to, because it's pretty low profile.
and it's not that strong wind. Maybe like the gusts might be like 20-30 mile an hour. It's just more of an irritation when just hearing that loud noise of the tent flapping. Even though it's only 9 o'clock, it is pretty early. I think I'll try it an early night, and then I'll be up early in the morning and get off and back to my home comforts on Friday. Managed to spill hot chocolate powder all on my leg and on the side of the pan. Let's get this mixed up, it smells absolutely amazing. Alright, this is going to be a disaster waiting to happen because I've got the light blinding me so you can see. Alright, I should probably take the spoon out of the pan because it's not going to be easy to pour it with that, is it? Whoa, tent's blowing in my face. Professional setup, eh? There you go. Let's see if it's warm enough. Ooh, a little too warm. Still tastes so nice. Honestly, you really appreciate it more when you're out. Just a hot chocolate at night time, it's so nice. Yeah, it's definitely windy in here. You can see how much that part's sagging in. Honestly, it's not too bad. It's just a bracket really. You can see it's getting blown about a fair bit though. It's just the gusts, and them gusts come like that. I don't know if I'd rather have wind or just the excruciating cold of last night. Right, so it's only 9:15, but I'm fairly tired, so I think I'm going to try head off to bed. Honestly, I wasn't even going to camp up here earlier. I just felt like, so I don't know what the feeling was really. Maybe a bit of it was just I was a bit worried about the wind. Then part of me was just like, oh, it would be nice to just walk all the way back to my car, go home and get in my bed. But now I've stayed out, I'm definitely glad I did, because it's not been a bad night at all. Yeah, it's been a bit windy, but it's still been really pleasant. So tomorrow we've just got 2 more mountains. Hopefully don't wake up in any clouds, then I have to try work out and remember exactly which way I need to go. But either way, it should be good fun. I'll see you in the morning. So my plan last night to go to bed so early at like just after 9 o'clock didn't really work out because I ended up waking up at 2:30 and then I couldn't get back to sleep. So by the time I got back to sleep it were 4:30 and then I've got up eventually about 7. So I've had a bit of sleep, but it's just been very broken. The weather today is looking kind of gloomy, to be honest. Of course, like usual, we're heading into the one mountain that's in the cloud. So while I've been packing up my stuff for the last few minutes, it was like fully clouded over. I couldn't see any of the mountains, but as you can see, it's starting to clear up a little bit. So hopefully it'll continue to clear up. At least now I've actually got a view. I was worried all day we're just going to be stuck in complete cloud. I mean, I still could because it looks pretty bad over there, which is where I'm going. And just like that, the fog or cloud has completely disappeared. I feel like it could come back over again though. It's that kind of the day. I'm probably just going to get off pretty soonish, because I always just like to get off and get back on last day. Pretty nice views looking around. You can see just odd patches of snow over there. And there you go, we're all packed away. It's just before 9, so I've got a bit of a walk to the car. 2 more summits to do. I'm going to follow this very faint track over into the cloud. But yeah, that's my camping spot. Obviously cleared everything up, leave no trace. Or as I like to say, no trace, no case. Look at the cloud there, it's just crawling its way up the mountain. Much like I'll be doing in a minute. There's definitely a bit of moisture in the air this morning. It keeps trying to drizzle a tiny bit. But honestly, even when it's weather like this, it's still enjoyable as long as you're not in cloud the full time. To say this has been my first ever full 48 hours in the wild, as they say, and I've been alone, I've actually really enjoyed it, because every day it's just been like, just wake up and just walk. I don't have to worry about anything else. Oh, what shall I do today? Lay around in bed. Oh, I can't decide what to do today. I can't bother doing all this. Pack your tent up and go and just walk. And it's just good. That's the only thing you have to worry about. I think I'll definitely try to do some more solo trips, because now I've got over the little fear I had of coming by myself. It's actually really enjoyable and peaceful. The one thing I would still have a fear of though is doing a solo trip but going into woods or a forest. I feel like that'd be scary at night. But the only climbing that remains on this 2-day trip is this hill here. Wow, what a great bowl. That is pretty steep. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Such dramatic landscape. Definitely getting a bit of a sweat on coming up here. It's fairly steep. I think I'm nearly at the top though. Some really nice scenes with the clouds just rolling over hills here. And you can actually make out a tiny bit of sunlight trying to break through. But we must nearly be at the top now. You can just see cairn after cairn. Hopefully soon will be the summit. I see a trig point. There we go. The trig point I'm looking for.
Here we go. The highest point of the whole 2 days. Crag Hill. Wow, it's like a photo, just with such wide-reaching views. Absolutely incredible. Shame it's a little on the cloudy side. Honestly, what a great little summit. Well, I say little summit. 2,700 feet or whatever. It's not so little, is it? Beautiful though. Absolutely beautiful. Look at all this cloud down in the valley. It's just rising up out of it. Don't know how steep it is off the front of here. Very steep. I'm not going to go too much closer. He says as he walks ever closer to the impending doom. Yeah, look at that, a cloud just down in the valley, rising up and blowing across. Next up, we're going to sail. I'm going to drop down in between the mountains down to Don't Water, back to the car. Wow, what a great view though. What a really nice view that is. I just love the views where you stood at the top of a valley just looking down at mountains either side. Absolutely perfect. I'm sure you could probably tell by the mad camera shake. My foot just slipped on a rock. I wasn't too close to the edge, but if I really fell over and rolled, I would have rolled off the edge. Look at some of the clouds over there rolling over the hills, just look absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful this didn't in the cloud, because I really thought it was going to be when I woke up this morning and saw just full cloud. Oh yeah. All downhill from here. Well, there might be a tiny bit of uphill to get up to sail, but nothing too much. Look at this. This is just so nice. Clouds just rolling and blowing over everywhere. This ain't a bad path, is it? Taking me all the way along here. Need to try to be careful because I don't want to be slipping on any of these wet rocks. It's like the clouds coming out of the mountain almost. Definitely more a little bit scrambly in sections coming down there. It wouldn't have been too much of an issue, but when I got my sticks in my hand, it makes it a little bit difficult. And that combined with the slippy rocks and the steep sides either side here, a little bit scary. It's just how slippy some of these rocks are, really. It's not difficult in terms of technicality, it's just you get on one bad rock and you just slip because they're so wet. There you go, that's that bit done. I could have done a bit more of a scramble straight off the front of it, but I kind of came down the left and then down this path, but pretty good. Some of this looks pretty slippy stuff up here. It's these kind of rocks where you just don't have any grip. Hopefully I can just wiggle my way up this path though and avoid the worst parts of it. Ooh, my legs are feeling it from all this walking. Where now? Not down there. Alright, I think we're going around here. Wiggling my way around. Hopefully we don't fall down there, eh? Oh. There we go. That bit completed. Oh, there were probably an easier path there. Oh well. Pretty sure this right here is the top of Sail. Can't remember exactly how tall it is. A bit smaller than Crag Hill. Funny little summit is this, isn't it? Like almost like in a cow field where all cows come to get fed or whatever. Just like loads of people are trampled up here. But we'll tap it anyway. Another Wainwright ticked off. That's 2 today that I hadn't done. And also the final Wainwright. All downhill from now. Honestly, I'm sweaty. I've got my fleece, I have my raincoat on. So I tried to rain earlier, so I thought I'll just pop my raincoat on. But going down then up that hill, sweating like mad. So there we go, I've negotiated down the very winding path behind me, and now I've reached this junction. If you go to the right, you'll go down into that valley and then you can get over to Ard Crags. And yes, that's Ard without a H, that's not just me not pronouncing my H because I'm from Yorkshire. Straight ahead, you go to 2 more Wainwrights, you've got Scar Crags and also Causey Pike. I've done them before on the channel if you want to check that out. But the route for me today is going to be left, down here. And just down the valley. When I did Scar Crags and Causey Pike, I came up this path and it's a great little path, isn't it? Just wiggling its way along the side of this scree almost. You just need to be careful not to slip and slide all the way down the scree because you'll be tumbling a fair way down. Definitely is the kind of surface where you can easily slip though, like loose rocks, wet rocks, bits of gravel, and then you get stuff like this, that'll just be slick if you go on some of that, especially when it's wet. Honestly, it may not look it, but this is probably the warmest it's been for the whole trip, and like, I'm not used to it being this warm. Now I'm just gonna follow this path down. Hopefully she'll be back to the car in half an hour. But that's gonna be it for this video. Honestly, what an adventure it's been. A few challenges on day one with the coldness and the mist and the cloud. And then last night it were a bit windy and I was definitely struggling when I was going up that steep hill to get up to Wandhope. But I pushed through it and managed to do it all. One thing though is I definitely brought too much food because I'm taking back a fair bit with me. I could probably stay out for another night with the food I've got nearly. But overall, really good, really enjoyed it. But I will be looking forward to my bed when I get home. It's always just nice after a camping trip. As much as I enjoyed the camping, and it's not that uncomfortable, just being in your own bed, the security of your own home, just laying there, it's just, you really appreciate it after a camping trip. But that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and drop a sub. And if you want to watch another one of my videos, click the screen now.